Okay, we're going to start with this intro course on time because it's a very auspicious thing when you start on time. And today and yesterday have been amazingly auspicious days. Right now, according to the astrology of today, Uranus and
Uranus is opposing this new moon.
and Uranus and the new moon are in conjunct.
They're opposing.
They're opposing. So there's a lot of energy in the atmosphere. Okay, so what we'll do right now to invoke the angels is we'll start off by repeating 3 mantras, the Guru, Ganesh, and Gayatri mantra, and then we'll begin. Om. 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 Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahmam, Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Om Suklam Baradaram Vishnum Sashivarnam Chatur Bhujam Prasanavadanam Dhyaye Sarva Vignopashantaye. Om Bhurбhuva Suvaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Naha Prachodayat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Okay, welcome everybody. And this is a really auspicious and beautiful day to just talk a little bit about this course, the angels. And for those of you who are asking, well, why are we starting with angels too? Because many of the people who have taken the courses before, this is a continuation of that energy progression. And we started off with Angels 1, which was about building the energy and building our personal austerity power and developing our capacity. And then we transitioned into a Angels and Elements course, which was really designed to help build even further the connection between our soul and the 5 elements. And the reason why it's important is because the angels are attracted and magnetized to the high divine vibrations of your soul. So if your soul is kind of weak and it's not really up to capacity, what happens is that, it's like a metal and magnet. When the magnet's really strong, it just kind of like boom, that energy will be drawn to you. So in this course coming up, this is about taking all that accumulated energy and really starting to work with it and developing your soul capacity to be able to actually pull an angel and connect and communicate with the angels. And, people may ask the question like, why are angels such a big topic in the Sri Kaleshwar teaching systems? And I'm going to repeat this quote by Sri Kaleshwar, where he talked about it in such an amazing way. So you can understand as we develop as a human to a divine human, that our soul transforms. Our soul begins to evolve and mature, and we start to access the higher planes of consciousness. And so I love this quote. And it'll be pretty self-explanatory once you listen to it. So in spirituality, once we start dealing with the angels, our soul starts to become a magnet. Wherever you go, wherever you see any person, you start to feel something. And they start to feel such a divine person, such a holy person, such a holy soul, such a supernatural cosmic energy flowing from you. Feeling huge love, attraction, peace, melodious. Just with your eyes and smile, you can open a person's heart like that. It means your soul starts to create blessings even through your mind, even though your mind is not doing it. Even when you're talking to a person in a serious conversation, at the same time, inwardly, your soul starts chanting the mantra and automatically hooking whatever is around. Souls, spirits, angels. Even from thousands of miles away, your soul can hear somebody chanting prayers. If somebody's asking your help, your soul can hear that. Not your monkey mind, your soul. Blessings here means creating the highest vibration by doing huge japa. Once we reach that stage, it hooks like a magnet. Then you have to choose whom you have to deal with. When God is there, same time around God, beautiful angels are there. As human beings, we can see, we can feel that angels' energy very clearly and can use angels for our purposes. A lot of beautiful spiritual symptoms are happening in our lives. And really, this is part of really a reflection of our personal soul enlightenment process. So that's why angels are so important. And Sri Kaleshwar talked about how the Sri Chakra, which is the yantra of Mother Divine, everyone talks about connecting with Mother Divine and accessing her womb and receiving those blessings. And what he said was the angels which encircle the Sri Chakra are actually more powerful than the Sri Chakra itself. And it's really quite amazing because everything's contained in the Sri Chakra, but it's through our personal mantra, our personal yantra, and the bijas of the Sri Chakra that we are able to access, communicate with, and start communing with not just the angels, but Mother Divine herself. And then once you start connecting with Mother Divine, the whole world begins to transform. You're able to access and channel that energy, not for your own selfishness, but for the people around you, for the people that need help, and for the blessings that will come as a result of people being in your presence. And as you start invoking that energy to support other people. And that's what this whole angel series has been about. It's been about empowering people, not just to help themselves, but to also help other people. Now I'm just going to pause here for a second and see if anybody had any questions about the course, anything that that you had on your mind, any clarifications, any sharings. We want to find out where everyone's at regarding this course, because this is going to be an amazing 4-week process. The minute that you sign up for this course, the energy is activated like that. And once the energy is activated, that grace, that energy of consciousness starts to enter into your life, enter into your world, enter into your consciousness, and your meditations are not the same. So I'm going to open it up here for any questions about the course that you may have. Feel free to, and this is an advanced course, by the way. Just you can raise your hand if anybody has a question. But this is an advanced course. It means that you have done practices of mantras with the elements, the outer elements, the inner elements. And in this course, we're going to pick up a couple of other mantras along the way, because one of the really important aspects of your soul development is going to be your ability to connect with your personal mantra and finding your personal yantra. Swami had said how important that the combination of your personal mantra and your personal yantra are to spirituality. That is at the foundation of Tantra. And it's quite extraordinary and very powerful. Your healings will have a different dynamic to it as a result of these processes. So does anybody have any questions? Spiro?
I would like to ask about our personal yantra. I got my inner, let's say, mantra, and I got my personal yantra. But the personal yantra, is it possible to draw it outside, or I just keep it as personal mantra? Like saying, don't show it to anybody, or...
You shouldn't show it to anybody. And I would be very cautious to, whenever you are thinking about drawing it. Your personal yantra is like your personal blueprint. That much power is contained with it. So I would say just practice your personal yantra in your third eye, which is part of that process. And you'll see that you won't need to draw your personal yantra. It will be there. Whenever you want to pull it up, boom, it's like there. And
Yes.
we're going to go through this process very systematically, so that there isn't any doubt about whether your personal yantra that you're seeing in your third eye is in fact your personal yantra. So I hope that answered your question.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
The course we did, I was kind of like side blinded by the time requirements and just the sheer magnitude of what we needed to do. Can you tell us what the time requirements and the Diksha requirements are for these series of processes, whatever we're doing with this course?
Yeah, 20 hours of meditation every day, 4 hours of sleep.
Seriously?
No, I just want.
I think it says something that I took you seriously. I was like, oh God, really? I don't have
No,
time
it's only for you, Tamara, because we know that you have taken off in your spiritual development, and we know how many hours of mantras that you do a day. So we figured out that it would be. So I'm sorry, but in spirituality, we have to have a sense of humor. Otherwise, forget it. It's just going to be dry and boring. So,
True.
yeah. So, I wouldn't worry about, there are a couple mantras that are Paramashiva yoga that we recommend that people do. That's in, the Paramashiva yoga is, we're borrowing some of the mantras from there in order to help build that energy. It just depends whether you've done the Paramashiva yoga mantras or not. And I would say whatever you put into it, you get out. You know, Paramahansa Yoga, they have it, you do it at a specific time at nighttime, like from 12 to 1. And that is between 12 and 3 is the auspicious time for meditation. So I think you've done inner elements. And I think that if you can put in like maybe 1 to 2 hours a day of meditation, I think you'll be fine.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, does anybody else have, I know there are a couple numbers that I don't know who they are, 8748 and 7325. If you guys have any questions, general questions or specific to this course. By the way, this course is an interactive course, so I would recommend that people ask the questions because everybody has questions. And really, the course is about taking your spiritual development to a new level. I mean, Sri Kaleshwar, I spent 14 years in the ashram. I mean, pretty consistently, except for when I had to do visa jumps. But it was intense, you know, and that's, you know, part of the spiritual path. You know, it is designed to help purify and to remove whatever false beliefs that you have about who you are and about spirituality. I know people think that angels are these winged gods and goddesses that are kind of materialized and then kind of descend upon you, and they float and they say,
I didn't catch that.
See, there is an angel amongst us right now, because it's no way that my phone would actually do that. Oh, and I got this message: angels or X-wing gods and goddesses that are kind of materialized and of then kind of okay. Anyway, Siri does not know what angels are. But, you know, Swami Kaleshwar talked about how angels could come in any form and they can materialize in any which way. And he talked about how angels came to him in the form of a dog, or angels came in the form of a young child. That's why when you're on the spiritual path, you never underestimate what comes in front of you. And I'm gonna go over some of the quotes that he had talked about, because I think that they're so amazing. And I'm gonna just kind of go through this from the first week number 1. Okay, I'm gonna go week number 2. I'm gonna give a quote based on that, and so you can kind of understand. He said, to be honest, jumping into the angels is an ocean. Once we enter into the angels chapter, it's up to your resistance power, how much you can handle that energy. And I know that to be true because I remember we did a process with Swami where we changed water to oil in the Shiva cave in Penakonda. And I remember that because I was the person holding onto the bag that had the water and the flowers. And the energy was so intense that my whole body was literally shaking. And I was holding onto a bag with my right hand. And I was a pretty strong person then. And my whole arm was shaking and vibrating. So it really requires a lot of resistance power as well. But that's what spirituality is about. It's about transformation. It's about giving up our limited understanding and embracing a field of awareness and consciousness. Because once you start to access the angels, It's like the unseen becomes seen. And you can sense angels, you can sense divine souls, you can sense when Shirdi Sai Baba is in the temple, you can sense when Jesus is trying to communicate with you, you can sense when Swami Kaleshwar comes into your consciousness. It's an amazing world, spirituality. Swami continued by saying, at some point, whenever process the master gives, the energy will give you experiences, evidence and proof of the energy. You have to experience God energies, our friends, the angels. It will come in the stages to bring your resistance power to be able to see for a long time, to communicate, to be able to receive the energy. You have to purify. You have to suck that energy to get certain ability in you. Then, here you go. Some angels, if you call it in, it comes. Calling it means it takes minimum couple years to 6 years. Some angels, it is your luck if it comes just like that, instantly. Even if it comes like that, the real hooking is that you have to connect to talk. You have to experience directly. When you're able to connect and talk, that's enough in your life. Your life is so successful. Angels never come in any one particular form. There is no exact form. It can come in a ball of energy, an animal, a person, the guru, in any form. God will come. Hey, I'm here. I'll help you. God never comes directly to you with a huge crown. There we go. Your belief systems of what spirituality is. He says that's just people's imagination. You have no idea how he can come, how he can take care in a very simple way. He's always watching, but your duty is you have to pull him. When the energy comes, it affects you no matter which way you see it. So that's quite extraordinary and amazing. And he talks about his personal experiences. But anyway, there's a question that came through the chat. Is Swami being available to all of us now because of the angels he created? Angels of himself? I would say yes, one part, but you can actually call upon Sri Kaleshwar directly and have him come to you. And he responds immediately. And also he had created, that's the amazing thing. He created angels and then he sent angels to his students in order to help them. I know this because he did that with me, because there were certain times that I was having real difficulty with my process. And the purification was a little bit intense and I had lost a lot of inspiration. And then something happened, he sent angels to me and then I started to understand what was really going on. Because once I began to understand my process and I began to understand what was happening internally, I can facilitate the process of letting go of the things that I didn't need and to understand more deeply the message that was being given to me. Swami had said that when he sends an angel, he doesn't leave you until his job is done. So I would say that's a really great question, because the angels are an ally of Shiva. Shiva works with the angels. Great masters and saints work with the angels. And all these great saints, they know the bijas, they know the vibrational frequency of these angels. And they will work with these angels to help their students, even after they've left their body. So there is hope and inspiration for us all that we can evolve on the spiritual path even when the physical master is not in a body. And that's really critical because a lot of people thought that, oh, Swami Kaleshwar, he left his body. But it's completely opposite, because as he left his body, as a divine soul, he has more power and capacity to help the students currently, and believe it or not, the students that will come in the future. It's quite extraordinary how many people have come to learn about these techniques, these processes, and these mantras, and how they've had transformation. Any questions, oh great divine souls and angels that are on this call? Don't be shy. Drop your fear. Ask whatever questions are in the back of your mind. What does everyone want to do? Should I just read more from the transcripts? Should I share some experiences? Doreen wants to share an experience, right?
No, I need to.
Okay. What is the process? The process is, should I give the process now? Should I just give the whole mantra and all the, take the course and you'll see. Because it's not just the mantra, it's also the technique. It's a very lengthy process. It goes over 4 weeks. So it's really difficult. But I will say that it's about working with the mantras, yantras, third eye. Let's be very clear. If you don't have a strong third eye, you can't materialize anything. You can't pull or magnetize with any degree of success unless you've really strengthened your third eye process. And that's really important. That's what links the personal yantra to your third eye, to your soul. There's a link there. So that you're able to do quite a few things with it. Do you think we should judge for ourselves if we have the time for the commitment before we pay for the event? I think you have to really trust the process. I think that you really need to. How long is the daily process? It's an hour, or it could be up to 2 hours. Depends on what your capacity and what you want to gain out of it. But it's a process of working with your third eye, your meditation, a statue of Baba or whatever it is, without talking more deeply on the process. And it's about strengthening your inner capacity, third eye, and vibrations. So you can put half an hour into it, or you can put 2 hours into it. It's up to you. I'm not trying to be vague on purpose. Literally, it's what we bring to the process that will determine our success. There are no shortcuts in this on the spiritual path. It really requires a commitment. But when you take the step towards the process and you make a commitment to the divine, this path is about relationships. When you take a step to the divine, the divine, Guru Parampara, whatever you want to call it, it responds and it works with you. It becomes like an alchemy, and it becomes a relationship that unfolds. The question was this a process that Kaleshwar taught you, Paul? Yes, he taught all his students this process, and it comes directly from his transcripts, and we quote his technique and his process that he gave to us during the time that we were in the ashram. So this is not something that I made up. This is all directions from Sri Kaleshwar.
I can say something.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so there might be an echo because I'm actually in this same room as Paul. You have to turn it off. Okay. All right. So anyway, can you turn your volume down on your computer? Yeah, there you go. All right. Anyway, there's a big echo in here, so it's kind of funny. There's a lot of diversions in the world, you know, I mean, a ton of them, 1,000 of them. And Swami used to say that it's the Maya's job to destroy the Dharma. So basically what happens is when we want to take a step towards having a higher consciousness, basically, seeing the reality, seeing things for what they are, then what happens is we fear we don't have the money, or we fear we don't have the time, or we doubt in our own capacity, or we have all these monkey mind things that come up. And then the car breaks and the kids get sick and the family pulls on us and the jobs, blah, blah, blah. So the best thing an individual I think can do, and this includes myself too, it's definitely in that pot, is just basically following your inner guidance, your inner heart. And Swami used to say it's a do or die kind of process, because his path, this high Shakti, Sai Shakti, whatever you want to call it, because it's basically, it's not just sitting and calming your mind or taking a plant medicine and blowing open your consciousness or like this. This is the real deal. This is like you sit, you do the mantras. The formula is there. The formula has been laid out. The formula is even on Amazon. You can go and buy the books from Swami. Paul's guidance is invaluable because he had so much time with Kaleshwar, and a lot of things do come up. So it's just, it's just over and over and over, refocusing, recalibrating, and trusting with a capital T, over and over and over. And that never ends. I don't think that ever ends, really. So trusting that the money's coming, trusting that the time's coming, trusting that you can focus, trusting that the process will work, all these things. That's the game. That's what we're in. And then trusting when the purifications come up that everything's going out, not coming in, and that's going to make your life easier. So this is just what I want to share about kind of what I see coming up for people. And believe me, it's coming up for myself too. Thanks.
May I add something? Can you hear me? Well, many people might think, spirituality is something you sit down and you just sit down and meditate and smile and everything is going to be smooth and beautiful and easy. Actually, it's very the opposite. Whatever process I did, always, things happens, crazy drama, big time. But I realized that doesn't matter how drama and how many crazy stuff around us can happen for each individual is different. I decided always to stick to the process to the end. And once the process is done, then the whole cleansing is also done. My understanding goes higher. And we become simply one with the whole thing. But that needs grinding, as Mr. Paul always says, and the others as well. So spirituality is not just sit down, and eating ice cream and be happy and say, okay, that's the cherry on the top. The cherry, you might get it in the end. But that's how it is for me. Actually. Thank you.
Thank you, Spiro. Appreciate that. I want to say that this is really a master's course. It's not really for everyone that's out there.
Paul, can you turn up your
Yeah, okay. How's that? Is that better? Is that better? Okay, thumbs up, Spiro? Okay,
a
good.
little more, please?
Okay, let me try that. Okay, here we go. How's that?
Good.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. I was talking to Doreen yesterday about my experiences being in the ashram and being in that intense energy. And, there is bliss to be experienced on this path. And it's not like becoming a master is just about do or die in this this unwavering discipline that's really harsh. There's both in this creation. There is the hard work and determination and the purification of releasing out impurities that is part of the spiritual path. I won't deny that. Similarly, there is a tremendous amount of bliss that comes along with it. But you have to be realistic about the capacity that it requires to get to a certain point. That's the thing that Sri Kaleshwar used to emphasize all the time. He used to say, and what's really fascinating is that Sri Kaleshwar was there a lot of times doing the heavy lifting for us on our behalf. A lot of the processes we did was successful because of his presence and his energy. So this is a master's course because the requirements are that you've done the elements, the outer elements, and at least started the inner elements. And then we go further to talk about, it's really a great idea to grab onto other aspects of Paramahansa Yoga. Why? Because to the degree that you can increase your vibrational frequency, like a broadcast, like a magnet, the stronger it is, the more likelihood of pulling an angel. That's why we do all these processes at specific times, because we use the energy of an element or elements or the moon cycles or like Shivaratri, Guru Purnima, because the accumulation of energy that's associated with the planets is going to help us. That's why during new moon and full moon, it gets really intense. You guys understand that? And you can imagine that during the times of new moons and full moons, it gets really intense. Why? Because that's when the angels are starting to be attracted. That's when the divine souls are checking in. It's when Mother Divine starts to notice your presence. We want that. But at the same time, we want to have the stamina, to be able to, when we have a darshan, to be able to, in that moment, ask the right question, communicate with the right intention, and to be able to hold that energy for a period of time. Let's see this. Couple questions. So if I haven't started the inner elements, then I can't do this. So we recommend that if you haven't started the inner elements, and by inner elements like the inner fire is Mahakali prayer. It's an accumulation of that energy vibration. It's about how much vibrational power you've attracted to your soul. So you should at least do one of the elements or start that in order to help support you in this process. What's the difference? Another question was, what's the difference between pulling an angel and creating an angel? Okay, that's a course in and of itself. So
That's what I want to hear.
okay, so the process for creating an angel is actually it's a process between yourself, your soul, the silence, and you're literally taking a piece of your soul and creating an energy with it. You're literally just like the way that Swami Kaleshwar shared it was that he would go into deep, 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 deep silence. And then through the Nada Bindu, he would pinch, and to be able to, I would imagine that it would be like taking a part of his soul and sending it out. Now, he was an avatar who had huge soul capacity. And he would be able to do many miracles with his soul in order to demonstrate miracles using his soul. I'll give you another example. So I hope that kind of, you can't really describe it, you can only experience it. So it's a very crude, simplistic way of doing it. It's probably more complex than that. But when you create a soul, it's almost like you create the vibration, and that you're taking pots of energy and you're working with that energy, and that you know the bijas and you know the vibrational frequency to do that. The rishis did that with Mahakali. They came together and with their austerity power and working with the elements, they were able to create Mahakali in form. Now, they were able to do that at a very, very, very high level. So pulling an angel is actually magnetizing your soul vibration in such a way that you can pull and draw an existing angel in the creation. And, saints, when they've created angels, Swami talked about this. He said, the question was, what happens with the divine soul who's created all these angels? What happens to their souls? What happens to those angels that he created? They say they just hang around and they do good works around for students and for people out there. So in creation, there are thousands of angels that are there. I'll give you an example. The earth element, second earth element. Om Sranambum Bhuteshwari Mama Kuru Swaha. Right? Bhuteshwari is the name of a form of an angel in Indian mystical tradition. That's a vibration that's in the creation. And if you take a look at all the mantras in the elements, water element, Om Klum Klum Jam Kanaka Durgamba, Om Klum Klum Jam Ham Kanaka Durgamba, Durga Devi Prasanam, Kanaka Durga is a form of an angel a very big angel, so to speak. Mahakali prayer is a combination of fire, water, and bijas. Om Hrim Hesraim Hrim, Om Dim Dim Klim Klim Sam Sam, Mahagni Swarupanena Namaha, Om Klum Klum Jam Kanaka Durgamba, Om Klum Klum Jam Ham Kanaka Durgamba, Durga Devi Prasanam, Om Yamata Raja Bana Salagam, Mama 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 Atma 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 Raksha 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 Mam. It's a sequence of the vibrational frequency and the angels and the vibrations associated with the fire and the water, along with the bijas of the petals of the Sri Chakra that comprise and compose the Mahakali prayer, which is the inner fire element. Inner fire element. And they go, at the end of it, they go, Atma, Atma, they go, Mama, 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 Atma, 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 Raksha, 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 Mam, Mama. That means to me. Atma, to my soul. Raksha, 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 Mam. Means you're invoking the bijas and the angels and the vibrational frequency of these mantras in such a way that you're creating angels around you. There's nothing in creation that isn't accessible if you have the right pin code and frequency. Does that make sense, Kay? Beautiful explanation. Thank you, Paul. Great. So I look forward, Kay, if you ever decide that you get to the place where you're able to create an angel from your soul, send it to me so I can test it out and I can send it back to you. Claudia, yes. Okay, fantastic. So, really, when you're taking a look at this whole process of this series that we've created here at Sri Kaleshwar University, it's about see, I tell you, there's an angel with my phone that is communicating through this iPhone. So they're listening. So anyway, so the point of it is that as soul scientists, Swami often talked about how we need to become soul scientists, right? He said that. He gave us so much, but then he left out a lot of the explanation and the self-discovery that goes along with this process. If we are spoon-fed all these processes and we don't develop our capacity to experiment, then we don't own it. If we don't have an experience directly of the angels, we don't own it. If we don't connect directly with and communicate with an angel and have that experience with us, then we don't own it. That's why this path and this course and this university that we created is designed so that people become masters, meaning that they own their experience, they've gone through the process, and they're able to recreate it themselves. Because you can't recreate it yourselves if you depend upon us to give you those things. That's just, there's no mastery in it. Any questions, anybody?
Maybe you can tell them why you got a little delayed with your installation with your mother.
Doreen, you want to, I'll mute myself.
Well, the course got a little delayed and I was feeling it, and maybe some of you were feeling it too. But the reason is because that there was an amazing, let's see if you can see this. Mother, look at that. That Paul had commissioned to be carved and shipped over on a boat from India and came into Long Beach and installed and had 48-day process. Every day the ladies were over here dressing and doing puja to her, and yesterday was day 49. And he got Dakshinamurti and the 9 planets installed. So the guys have been busy. And I've been coming down once or twice a month to do what I do here. And so I'm just saying, if some of you were feeling the delay of the process, and this is why, this is why. And also because this is like the guru stand of the Kaleshwar University, and it was quite an upheaval. Let me just say that it was a lot of if for a couple, I see a couple of you on the call that lived at the ashram, that when Swami was building and having things torn down, how crazy it was. Well, it's the same here in Tarzana, happening like that. Yeah, so that's what I want to say.
So great. So fantastic. So any other questions that you guys might have, go ahead and ask away about the course. Just feel free to, that's why we did this class, is so that we can kind of, I guess, answer your questions and to really clarify what best we can. Because we're going to keep this within 1 hour. So due to everybody's schedule, we wanted to keep it short and sweet. Right. Any questions you guys have? Go ahead, Spiro.
Regarding the inner element, now I made some of them. Is there a particular one you suggest that we work with before that? Let's say a specific one, and you mentioned the fire, and let's say Mahakali mantra. Is it the one we should work with up till the coming course starts?
You mean you've done the inner elements, right?
Yes, not all of them, but some of them I did.
Yeah, sure. That's fine. For those people who are going to register for the course, we're going to share a few mantras from Paramashiva Yoga that we will recommend. But certainly, I would say the inner fire is a great one, or the inner sky. Inner earth is always really profoundly powerful. It just depends on what you've done and what you've completed. And I wouldn't worry about it. If anybody has any concerns about it, you can just write me directly and we can have a one-on-one conversation about it. But most everybody on this course have done or have started Mahakali, which is the inner fire element. And that's really a very, very powerful and important inner element. I recommend everyone to do the inner elements as part of your personal process. So I wouldn't worry about it at this particular point in time. If you've done the outer elements and you've begun the inner elements, that's good. So the course will start. The question is, I would do this in conjunction with the new mantras. The new mantras, when you get them, it'll be clear what that process is and what it's for. It's a very entailed process. This Angels Part 2. It's really about strengthening your third eye, developing your capacity, starting to really connect with your personal yantra, and really starting to talk about the mechanisms of communicating with angels. And so it's a really in-depth dialogue and forum, so to speak. And I want to say forum because it really is a place where students who are wanting to go to the next level have the ability to share, ask questions, go through your doubts that you might have, some blockages that you might be experiencing so that you can get free. Swami really encouraged community participation of all levels, senior, middle, beginning students, whatever it is, because we can all learn from our collective wisdom and collective experience. That has been the successful model for the Sri Kaleshwar University. And we have had enormous success with this model because we are building community, even though everyone is in different cities, countries, and continents. You know, that's really the beauty of the Hanuman energy, is that through the ether of the internet, we can create a community vibration that is supportive for everyone who's participating in this course. And we've done at least a dozen classes thus far, and each one has been phenomenal, profound, and very productive. So I encourage you, if you have any doubt, sign up for the course, see what it has to offer. It's very structured. We have the syllabus and everything laid out very systematically, and we follow, for the most part, a script that is designed to help everyone get to the final goal. So I highly recommend it. And this is not a sales pitch. This is for people that really are committed and are willing to participate in this course. Okay, now we're approaching 2 minutes to 11. Any other final questions that anyone has? Great. So we'll conclude the course, this intro class, by doing the closing mantras. So I want to thank you all for participating and sharing and being a part of this intro program. And I look forward to the course starting on November 17th, seeing all you guys on this class. I got Claudia, she says, I want to participate. Let's see the time with love. Thank you, Gayatri. We can always use Gayatri in our world. I'm looking at Helmut. Helmut's looking over at Gayatri.
Yes, I feel as Gayatri. Thank you.
Thank you for your blessings. Okay. Om Shanti 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 Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. And I'll end today's class by going in front of Mother and Baba and Jesus so that everyone can have a darshan. So hold on a second and then we'll go ahead and give you guys a darshan. We just got finished with a 48-day process, Mandala Puja. Oh, good. We get to have Baba Abhishek too.
Hi Paul, good morning.
Good morning. Everybody gets to have Baba Darshan today. Let me get myself out of the way here.
You have to put it on top of your head first.
Yeah. Okay, let's just do this. And now we'll go over to my Sasana Mardini. Actually, we can't gotta see Jesus too, and the Shiva Lingams. Okay, everybody, have a wonderful Diwali today. You guys take care, and I look forward to seeing you on November 17th for the start of the Angels Part 2 class. Any questions, you guys can email me directly. Take care. God bless. Talk to you soon.